Howdy, y'all, and welcome. Hope everybody's doing well out there so far. Before we get into what we could expect for the next couple weeks, let's go ahead and take a look at this day in weather history. Back on October 22nd, 1988, we had a nor'easter which slammed much of the northeast states with a foot of snow, a lot of flooding, which resulted in icing, and some 75-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Here's the definition of what a nor'easter is. It basically forms down in the Gulf, turns along the east coast, and it slams much of the northeast with a lot of icing and snowfall. It's basically like a little tropical storm slash hurricane, basically what it is in the wintertime. And there's a lot of similarities between that nor'easter and Superstorm Sandy, which actually formed on this day back in 2012. As y'all know, it turned up here into the Atlantic as a major hurricane before it made landfall over here by New Jersey, resulted in a lot of high winds, flooding, and a lot of damage, and even some snowfall up here in the West Virginia mountains. So that's this day in weather history, y'all. Now, am I expecting anything like that to occur in the short term? No, but let's go ahead and take a look at the troughs and ridges. Troughs are usually associated with the bad weather, and the ridges are usually associated with the good weather. Push us forward, we can see there's some troughing and ridging patterns going on, but then as we head into Halloween, it's looking like a major ridging pattern is going to set up, which could mean some warm and dry conditions for much of the lower 48. But then watch as we head into Halloween, we could be coming in on a major troughing pattern out west and remaining in a little bit of a ridging pattern out east, which could result in some severe weather over here in the central part of the country. Definitely something to keep our eye on. But then as we head into the beginning weeks of November, right around election time, this trough will be getting out of here, and it looks like a major ridge is going to be setting in yet again. So it looks like the beginning of November could result in a major ridging pattern with a low pressure system forming down here, which might not even happen. This is well out into the future, but it's going to take a look at our precipitation pattern for the next couple of weeks. We can see the next couple days really dry for much of the lower 48 with some snow showers occurring up here in the Mountain West. But watch as we head into this weekend. Could be coming in on some soggy conditions up here in the upper Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley and parts of the Northeast. But once we get out of the weekend, it's still going to remain pretty dry for much of the lower 48, at least until we head into the week of Halloween, where we could be coming in on a major snowstorm up in the Mountain West and an uptick in some severe weather amongst the central half of the country. Remember, as I was showing y'all earlier, there was a trough out west and a ridge out east. That's why we're expecting some severe weather here in the central part of the country. But keep in mind that this is well over 200 hours out. Anything can and will change. But I'll keep y'all posted on this, of course. And Halloween night, taking those kiddos out trick-or-treating could be coming in on some soggy conditions up here in the upper Midwest down into the south central part of the country. So be aware of this. Pack an umbrella. And if you live up in the Northwest, looks like some snow showers are going to be occurring. So be aware of this and make sure you pack that coat. Stay warm. And if you don't want to head out, don't do so. Go buy that bag of candy. It's a lot better than going out and dealing with this kind of stuff. But you make a lot of memories going out there in the cold air. And I will actually have a trick-or-treat forecast next week, as we'll be nailing down the trick-or-treat forecast as we are about 8 days away, y'all. So get excited. And there's actually some webcams out there in Colorado I want to show y'all. The Wolf Creek Ski Area webcam. This is what this is. Actually, their grand opening today. See, they got some snow up there and people are enjoying the snow. And send me any snowfall pictures if you want to. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're out there skiing, send me a picture of yourself skiing, as we have some ski resorts that are finally opening, y'all. Winter is getting closer. And once we move past Halloween, it's looking like a soggy pattern is going to persist out east, while it's looking like to dry out west. And of course, it's showing a little bit of a system down here in the Caribbean. Going to be affecting Florida and much of the Carolinas. This won't happen. Please don't fall for this. A lot of clickbaiters will show you this. This is well out, 300 some hours out. Can and will change, and we'll get into the tropics here in a little bit. First, we got to take a look at the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook by the Climate Prediction Center. This is valid from the 27th all the way into the 31st. As you can see, much of the central and western half of the country is going to be well above average, mainly due to some major snowstorms going on over here in the Mountain West and some potential severe weather over here in the central part of the country. But it's looking like from Alabama up into the northeast and even down here by Texas, it's going to be well below average. Take a look at the next 8 to 14 days. Really much of the same story. Although we could be coming in on what could be a soggy pattern amongst the central and a little bit of the eastern half of the country as well. And as we take a look at the drought conditions for much of the lower 48, this map was released on October 17th. Much of the country is really in some sort of drought conditions. So that's some good news if you live up here in the Mountain West and for much of the central part of the country, as Some drought relief could be in store, although down here by Texas, it's looking like some drought relief's not going to be in store for y'all. Y'all are still going to deal with some drought-like conditions, unfortunately. Now, on to the tropics. Let's take a look at that little tropical storm chance. Before we take a look at that, we can see that we have Oscar out there, quickly intensified into a Cat 1 hurricane. It was a very surprising hurricane, actually. Didn't expect it to turn into one, as it was a 20% development chance. And then it quickly intensified, of course. Now, it causes an island-wide blackout as well, and is expected to move out by this evening, so that's some good news. I know that most of y'all are going to be doing some cleanup, so hopefully y'all get your power back on by the time you're watching this video. Hopefully y'all are doing alright down there, by the way. And we also had Nadine down there. It's not down there currently, but I think Nadine turned into Christy, as it's expected to turn into a hurricane later today and remain a hurricane and immediately become a fish storm as we head into next week and may actually impact California, so definitely be monitoring this. Now, as far as that system that was 300 some hours out goes, let's go ahead and take a look at that. You can see, of course, Oscar moving out may impact Nova Scotia and all that up there. After that moves out, it's not looking like anything's going to be affecting us in the near term other than this chance that's supposedly going to be forming over 200 hours out by Halloween. Keep in mind, this might not even happen. A lot of fear mongers will show you this, but if it does happen, I'll be keeping y'all posted, as it's looking to impact southeastern Florida into the Carolinas, which might not even happen well out into the future, so definitely keep this in mind, but I'll keep y'all posted like I said earlier. And the reason why I don't think it's going to be forming is because of the sea surface temperatures. I don't think the sea surface temperatures are going to be sustainable for any sort of tropical storm, let alone hurricane development. As you can see, the Gulf has been worked over by Oscar and Nadine, so this is one of the reasons why I'm not expecting any sort of systems to form here in the next couple of weeks. And heck, they don't even have a development chance out for it, so do not worry, do not panic if you live down here by Florida or in the Carolinas. But I will, again, keep y'all posted. I'm sure y'all are curious as to what the temperatures will be like for the next couple of weeks, since we are in the I don't know what to wear kind of season. We can see today, pretty warm for much of the lower 48. And cooling down again tonight, and back and forth pattern all the way into Halloween. We can see that it's going to be pretty chilly on the 26th. Back and forth temperatures again. And here is a sneak peek of what we could expect on Halloween. Since we are 8 days away, the forecast is becoming more clear. You can see as those kiddos are heading out trick-or-treating. It's going to be pretty warm out here amongst the eastern half of the country, but bundle up if you live from Nebraska up into the northwest. And once we get past Halloween, it's looking like it's going to start to get really chilly, especially as we head into the election time. Looks like the election day is going to be pretty warm. And as we take a look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook by the Climate Prediction Center, we can see that the Northwest is going to be below average, while the rest of the country is going to be well above average. Next 8 to 14 days, really the same story. Chilly air is starting to move its way further towards the south and towards the east, but really above average for really much of the country. And speaking of that cold air, if you haven't checked out my last video, I did something different for y'all. Was my winter car prep video, how to prep that hot rod for this upcoming winter season. Haven't checked that out, please do so. It's sort of a fun video to do for y'all, so check that out. And here's some Halloween facts for y'all that you probably didn't know. Did you know that Jason's mask from the movie Halloween back in 1978 was actually a Star Trek mask from William Shatner? They had to do some budget cuts, so they actually just took William Shatner's Star Trek mask and used it in the film Halloween back in 1978. Pretty neat. And during pre-Halloween celebration of Samhain, bonfires are lit to ensure that the sun would return after a long, hard winter. Basically, they were superstitious back in the day. The word witch comes from the word Weiss, meaning wise woman. So if anybody calls you a witch, then take it as a compliment. And Boston, Massachusetts sets the record and still holds the record for the most jack-o'-lanterns lit all at once with 30,128 pumpkins lit. And here's some more facts for y'all. I'll zoom in here and show y'all some interesting facts. Of course, we already know about the Weiss one. That's witch means wise woman. Trick-or-treating began in areas of the UK and Ireland. Poor people went house to house selling, so called because they asked for small breads called sow cakes in exchange for prayer. That's pretty interesting. Didn't know that. First jack-o'-lanterns were actually made from turnips. First, y'all know pumpkins are orange, being green, white, red, and gray. The largest pumpkin weighed in at 2,323 pounds. Black cat, spiders, bats, and Halloween symbols have historical ties to Weissens. basically witches. Animals were thought to be the companions of witches in the Middle Ages. So that's where the black cats and spiders and all those Halloween things come from. New York City, they have a parade. It's usually the largest parade, involves 50,000 participants and over 2 million spectators. And then people around the world return to their hometowns on Halloween to purchase candles and flowers in preparations for All Saints' Day on November 1st. There are some interesting facts for y'all. Of course, there's such thing as a Halloween phobia, originated from Samhain. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And one last fact before we take a look at the fall foliage. Des Moines has a hilarious tradition called Beggar's Night, and jack-o'-lanterns actually come from the Irish legend Staggy Jack. So Halloween is really a worldwide thing that's celebrated. So that's some interesting facts that y'all probably didn't even know. The most interesting one was the Jason mask, and candy corn is actually originally called chicken feed. So I guess we'll feed some sugary candy corn to our chickens, which actually do not do that. It's not a good idea. And as you can see, we are 8 days away from that spooky holiday, y'all. And here's the fall foliage as of today. You can see much of the country is at peak or near peak by now, especially down here in the Smoky Mountains. Moving to Halloween, really much of the country is going to be heading into moderate to peak fall foliage. And of course, November, much of the country is in peak. Now, I did find a webcam down there in Gatlinburg of the fall foliage up in Anakeesta. Here's a live look at the fall foliage as of 12:40 this afternoon. We can see Mount LeConte over here, and we can see downtown Gatlinburg right over here. Of course, the Chalet Village is right over there. We'll rewind it to yesterday evening. Y'all can find this webcam as well. Just type in Smoky Mountain webcams. It'll take you right there. Now, as we take a look at sunset down there in Gatlinburg as of 6:40 in the evening yesterday, we can see the fall foliage. Really beautiful mountains yesterday. You can see that really, really well up there in Mount LeConte. So definitely getting some peak fall foliage down there. So hopefully y'all are enjoying it. Send me any fall foliage if you want to over my X and Facebook pages. I would greatly appreciate that, as well as any weather photos. If you have any ski resorts up there in the Colorado Mountains, get out there and enjoy those as well. Send me any photos if you're out there skiing. So definitely get out there and enjoy the weather this week. So I hope y'all enjoyed today's weather forecast. If you did, make sure you hit that like and share buttons for more folks informed about the weather. And also leave me some feedback in the comment section down below. It's feedback helps provide you the viewer better and more informative content in the future. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button with bell notifications turned on, because it here warns whether we try to make weather forecasting fun and informative. So again, make sure you send any weather photos or fall foliage pictures over to my X and Facebook pages. Get out there and enjoy the ski resorts, by the way, as well. And I will have a trick-or-treat forecast up probably by next Tuesday, so be on the lookout for that as we'll finally nail down the trick-or-treat forecast. As of right now, it's looking to be warm and wet out east, while it's going to be a little bit snowy and cold up in the northwest. Of course, subject to change of course. As far as tropics go, not much in the way of any sort of tropical storm activity down there in the Gulf or in the Atlantic. Nothing much to worry about, so that's some good news. As far as our weather pattern goes for the next couple of weeks, looks like we're going to be coming into an uptick in some severe weather as we head into Halloween, and some major snowstorms occurring up in the Mountain West, which is good for the ski resorts, so go out there and enjoy those. So again, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, never stop forecasting.